Greetings to the ones watching, to the ones following. Day 24, I believe it is. It's a grey bank holiday Monday in the UK. Monday, new week, new fresh perspectives. Weekend has been interesting, and the week leading up to it has been interesting. Everything seems to be kind of approaching a culmination. I have my race coming up on Sunday. I have my period starting at any moment. And I'm thinking if there's anything else that's culminating. I've just completed 100-day challenge of self-acknowledgement with my former client. So that has culminated. And the fact that I've committed to clean eating till the race has really brought up a lot of stuff, because normally when I feel something, I can get a chocolate. And this time around, commitment is stronger than the chocolate, and a lot of things have been resurfacing and culminated in a breakdown yesterday. And actually, it was beautiful because for the first time ever, when I was feeling that, I actually reached out to my friend and I was like, I need some emotional support, please. And yeah, it was just beautiful to have that space to just break down and be weak, be ugly, be whatever, because I'm always so strong and I got my shit together and I always work through my own challenges because I'm very self-reflective and introspective. So whenever I go through something, I'm just like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna journal, I'm gonna meditate. Like I really know how to kind of be with that experience and go through it myself without like creating too much drama. And I've been good at it, but at the same time, it takes longer to do it on your own. Just like anything in life, really. It takes longer for you to get to where you want to be on your own, because we're not designed to do things on our own. We're social creatures. We're social animals. We belong. There's no us without another, you know? So we coexist together. And everything, like, you know, building a house on your own or building a house with a group of friends, like, what's gonna be faster, you know? So it's the same way, you know? It's like, it's funny being a coach, learning these lessons for myself when I'm actually teaching them. Like, I know the value of coaching and I know that it accelerates the growth or whatever, you know, like overcoming the challenges. And yet I'm being my own coach, you know, and coaching myself through those moments. And so finally yesterday I was like, it's time to fucking practice what I preach and, you know, reach out for support and break down and be imperfect, you know, and be okay with not having my shit together. Obviously you don't call up just anyone. You have to have a certain connection with a person, a certain level of safety, but opposite can be true as well. You can create that safety by being vulnerable and allowing for someone to experience that. However, oftentimes we're not equipped we don't know how to hold someone else's breakdowns. So you can look like, oh, it's okay, or like, yeah, I get you, like, I totally get that. So it can be a little bit dismissive in that sense. So it's like, yeah, knowing who to reach out when you want to break down. And it's been a powerful experience for me, because first, I've never done it in front of someone. Like, I've broken down many times myself in my own, like, I can hold myself powerfully in my breaking downs, but it was just the next step in my evolution of like, okay, it's time to break down and be vulnerable with my sister. Not like a blood sister, but more like a soul sister. And also hear myself in that breakdown. It's like, okay, this is how you think, this is how you feel, oh, this is what's happening. Because as much as it's possible to feel and hear and see those things inside, when they come out, they might take a different shape, and it's like, ooh, this is interesting. So it was a beautiful exercise for me to go through, and to create for myself that it's okay. And now if I think about the next time, I'm like, I'll just call. There's no more, like, there's less resistance. There's less shit going on in my head, and I'm like, looking at the weekend that I just had, I'm like, I could have just like had that clearing. I know in men's circles they call it clearing. I don't know if in women's circles they do that too, but just this idea of clearing yourself, because sometimes our heads are full of shit, so many thoughts, and like so many things are happening. Sometimes it's just like I need to clear. And you clear through speaking, through, you can cry, whatever is the expression of that. But a lot of the times all of this heaviness comes from just holding it in, just like trying to be with it and do something about it. But yeah, the beauty is actually releasing it and being held by someone without judgment, with love, with openness, with curiosity, and feeling like shit, and that person sees the fucking gold underneath the shit, the shitty covering that we're covering ourselves in. So that was my experience yesterday. I was like, fuck. My friend, she was just like telling me all these things that she sees in me, that I am, and that I trust on a good day, But when you're riding through a low, it's like, oh, like I don't see myself this way. And it's like, yeah, who do you believe, Because when you acknowledge someone, at least for me, like I acknowledge it from my heart, and this is how I see them. It's not something I'm making up. And so I believe that to be true about others. And if I don't see that about myself, but others do, like I'd rather choose to believe them, because we can see better from the outside. We can see the truth from the outside, whereas from the inside we can be so judgmental. And again, not we, but our minds are so defaulted into the judgment and seeing all the things that are not working. So it's easier to drown into that judgment. I'm just tired. So yeah, was just feeling like the weight of my experience was too heavy to hold. And what I'm seeing now, it's not even the weight of the experience, it's just the fucking thoughts of all the experiences And that's the thing, like, it always comes down to the mind, that it really drains the energy. Like, the more the looping of the thoughts and thinking, and it's like, I want to do this, how do I do this, I have to do this, and do. And all of a sudden lose the plot of what's actually important. And I have been quite paralyzed, to be honest, for the past week, because I had so much to do in my mind that my mind was just like frozen. It's like, fuck this shit. Like, I'm not gonna do any of it. It's like, it's too much. And this morning I had a call with my friend from a circle, and she mentioned about watching the video from our mentor, talking about the fact that I don't need to do anything. And as she said that, I'm like, fuck, this is so true. And we get so self-consumed with, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this. But when in the reality, there's nothing we need to do. It's like, it's either we choose and we do it, or we don't. It's like simple as that. But mind creates these like massive responsibilities, and just really overcomplicates things where they don't have to, It's like, oh, I have to work on this project, this. Just fucking sit down and start, So it creates that inaction by overthinking. Yeah. So I'm feeling quite grounded today, quite back in my center, I must say. And I just love going through those lows. In the moment, I don't. But when I come out of them, I'm like, oh, yeah, this is why I needed it, It's like every single low, every single down, every single depression, annoyance, frustration holds, or resistance holds gold inside, a lesson or insight or wisdom. And it's the beauty of coming out and being like, yeah, I got my treasure, I got my insight. And a lot of the times it's like fucking same thing. I'm like, like how many more times I need to learn the same lesson over and over and over again. And I'm like, can I be with that too? Can I love that too? Yeah. And part of me feels sad because a lot of the times people just go through these circles, and because they don't take time to be with and see what's the gift in that experience, they see it as a burden, as a struggle, as a curse, as a like feeling like failure, feeling unlucky, feeling like the world is happening to them, the life is happening to them, and they just go into those vicious cycles over and over again. And I guess their frustration then is just the same struggle. Well, people who do get to see the insides, they're like, fuck, the same lesson again. It's like repeating curriculum until you learn your lesson. But yeah, the sadness, I guess, is in that. Like, it can be transcended. It can be viewed as an opportunity to create something else. But it's not the kind of the popular view or perspective. So yeah. Over the rainbow. And I'm gonna stop here. Yeah, it's beautiful to observe how I'm growing through just recording these videos. I don't know if it's visible from the outside, but from the inside it just feels very expansive, very insightful. Yeah. So I'm grateful for the social media and for the space to really play and explore, because that's all it is. Life is just a playground for us to play and to create, and we just get so fucking serious about it. Yeah. And I get serious as well. So the takeaway is, when in the funk, reach out. And I'm talking to myself, and if it's relevant to you. But yeah, this idea of going through whatever the funk is faster rather than waiting and waiting and waiting. So that was my inside yeah. I'll see you in the next one.